Today we'll be talking about the language milestones the average kid has at around the age of 2 to 3 years old. First, we're going to be talking about how they're able to understand and hear language. At around this age, your little one will be able to understand opposites. So like go, stop, up, down, big and little. So that means if you're playing a game like a phrase dance game or something like that, if you say go, they'd go, and if you say stop, they would be able to stop. If you were able to say, hey, can you go get the big cup for me? They'd be able to understand which one was the big cup and which one's the little cup. Same thing with up and down. If you're doing simple songs like the wheels on the bus go up and down, and if they're able to move along to that song, or if you're able to tell them like stand up or sit down, then they're able to follow along with that. Your little one will also be able to follow two-step directions, such as put toothpaste on your brush, then brush your teeth, or put on soap and wash your hands. Your little one will be able to understand new words very quickly, as their vocabulary will be expanding a lot at this point. But now let's talk about their skills regarding talking and communication. Now at around this age, your child will have anywhere from 200 words to about 1,000 words at this point. So your child should have a word for almost everything. If they wanted to ask for something, they should have a word for that at this point. If they want to do something, they should be able to communicate with words what they want to do. Your little one should be able to talk about things or people that are not in the room. So if a person is not in the room, they should still be able to talk about that person. And this is called object permanence. And usually at around this time is when this skill develops, when they're able to talk about a toy that they really like that's not around them at this point. In addition to the sounds above, your child will now start to develop new sounds around this age, such as our k, g, f, t, d, n sounds as well. Your little one will also start to use prepositions such as in, on, and under, whether that's describing where they want to go or describing where things. That thing is on the table, that thing's in the box. Oh, look, it's under the table. They will also consistently use 2 to 3 word phrases to talk about something or to ask you for something. People who know your little one should be able to understand about 75 to 100% of the time. Whereas in people that aren't as familiar with your little one, they'll be able to understand them between 50 to 75% of the time. They will also begin to ask a lot of why questions. So when you say, can you get that? They say why. If you say put on your shoes, they might say why. If you say open the door, they might say why. They're going to start using a lot of those why questions at around this point. They also might start to repeat sounds in a phrase, or they also might start to repeat words in a phrase. So they might say a word twice when they're trying to say one thing. Here are some things you can do to continue to add to your child's language and understanding of language. One of the first things you can continue to do is continue to speak in simple words, simple phrases, but speak clearly. Make sure you're speaking not in a fast pace, but in a nice pace so your child's able to understand. If you're talking in really, really fast and in really long phrases, your child probably is not going to be able to pick up all the things that you're saying. Make it simple and make it clear. Repeat what your child says and add to it. If your child says, look, it's a car, you can say, yes, it is a car. It's a bright red car. It can drive really fast. What you can also do is you can also put objects in a bucket, or what I like to do, I have a box in which you can cover it, maybe with a blanket or something. So when you go in, you don't know what you're getting, and so it's kind of surprise. And then you pull out and then see what your child says. If they're able to name the object or whatever they're able to name, add it. If they say it's a car, you can say it's a red car. If your child says it's a red car, you can say it's a bright red car, it's a little red car, it's a fast red car, and always add to what your child is saying. What you can also do is when you're pulling items out of the box or the bucket, you can also start to put them in categories. So like vehicles, food, people, animals, and start to help them identify those different categories of different things and items. It's also important around this age for your child to know that their words are important and they mean a lot. So if there's times where you're not able to understand your child, let them know that, and let them know that you are trying and seeking to understand. If they're trying to request something and all you hear is block, you can say, I don't know what you said, you want a block, can you tell me more? And really try and help them figure out what they want. You want to be able to show them that their words are powerful and they can use their words. You also want to make sure you're continuing to add to your child's language and vocabulary. And reading is a wonderful way to do this. Reading a little bit every night really helps them to continue to enhance and grow in their language and vocabulary. This is also a great age to be introducing and talking about colors, shapes, and numbers. counting fingers, toes, counting things in books. There's also lots of really great songs you can do that has to do with counting and colors and numbers, or routines in which they continue routine and things are different a little bit every time and they have to kind of keep up with the routine but also follow and listen to what the difference is. One of the songs I really like to do is If You're Happy and You Know It. If you're happy to know it, clap your hands, but then you can also add in a lot of different variations. If you're happy and you know it, touch your head. If you're happy and you know it, bend your knees. If you're happy and you know it, turn around. There's lots and lots of different gestures and actions you can put into that song. So I really like it because they know something's coming, so there's anticipation, but also they need to listen to what's going to be expected next and then follow through with that. Continue to name objects and talk about pictures that are in a book. You can also use similar words kind of for the same meaning. So if you see a woman in a picture, you can say there's the woman, there's the mommy, there's the lady, there's the grown-up, and make sure so that way they start to understand that all these words essentially kind of mean the same thing, kind of in a little bit different ways. So that way they understand when you say any of those words, you know the person that you're referring to. This is also around the age where they start to understand how items or how things are used. So there's a couple things you can do with this. You can go around your house and kind of identify and point to different things you might use. For example, if you go, what do you do with this? You know, at the sink you wash, at the bed you sleep, on the couch you sit, on the TV you watch. You can also look in a magazine or in pictures and cut out the things in a magazine and glue it to make it kind of a fun craft activity, and talk about the things that you're cutting out, what they are, and what you can do with them. You can even look at family pictures if you have a bunch on your phone. Take a minute to go through them and have your child pick out pictures, or you pick out pictures, and kind of put little captions to what's happening. If your child's in some of these pictures, you can help them say, I'm swimming, I'm walking, I'm smiling. Or if there's someone else, a sibling, you can say, my sister's walking, my sister is at home, and start to do locations, what they're doing, actions, or even describing, I'm wearing a red shirt, I have red hair, whatever they want to describe in the moment. Another great thing you can also do is also start to write those simple captions down on a piece of paper if you want to print them out and start a little scrapbook. So that way they start to identify the meaning behind simple words and letters and identifying the meaning behind that with the picture next to it. It's actually more language enhancing to have your child give an option of what they want versus having them answer yes or no. So instead of saying, do you want milk? And them answering yes or no, it's actually more language enhancing to say, do you want water or milk? So that way they're being more specific in what they're wanting and what they're choosing. And then when they choose, you obviously can praise them for that and say, hey, thanks for telling me what you want. I'll get you a glass of milk. So you understand what their request was. Be sure to wait for the answer and also praise them for answering the question. You can say, thank you. Thank you for answering and telling me what you want. I'll go get you a glass of milk. You also want to continue to sing songs, sing nursery rhymes, as this continues to help them, again, with that sound awareness of words that go together that sound the same and which words that sound different, as this continues to help them in their language, in their speech, in their articulation, and then also when they get to school and being able to sound out sounds and spelling and words and reading as well. At around this age, I get a lot of parents asking about screen time, if it's something they should or shouldn't be doing with your child. And I actually did a video on this. If you want to check that out, I discuss different pros and cons about screen time and how you can effectively use screen time with your child to actually help enhance their language. If you enjoyed watching this video or found anything in this video helpful, please consider clicking the like button below and subscribing and turn on your notifications so you can get updated when I push out more videos just like this. I'm Hedgecock, your speech language pathologist, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.